I'm going to say something uncomfortable, but I need you to hear it because there's a good chance you did this today, maybe in the last hour. There's a habit, one small, quiet habit. You don't think about it, you don't notice it, but she does. Not consciously. She couldn't put it into words if you asked her, but she feels it. And it tells her everything she needs to know about where you are emotionally. And the worst part? It's not what you're saying to her. It's what you're doing the second after you say it. Most guys come to videos like this thinking the problem is their texting game, the words, the timing, the emojis. They think if they just crack the formula, say the right thing at the right moment, she'll respond the way they want. But that's the wrong question entirely. The real question isn't, what should I text her? The real question is, what happens to me after I hit send? Because your answer to that reveals more about your emotional wiring than anything you could ever type. And once you see that, once you really see it, you can't unsee it. Here are 7 quiet habits that tell her you're emotionally dependent, and every single one starts with your phone. Number 1, the 30-second check. You send the message, you put your phone down, maybe face down on the table like that's going to help. And then 5, 10, 15 seconds later, you pick it back up. You don't have a notification, you know you don't, but you're checking anyway. Did she see it? Did the status change? Are those 3 little dots there? And when they're not, you feel something, a tiny pull in your chest, a micro-anxiety you'd never admit out loud. That pull is the habit, and it's louder than anything you've ever typed. Number 2, the notification flinch. Your phone buzzes. Before you even see the screen, something happens in your chest. A little spike, a little hope. Is that her? And when you flip the phone over and it's a random email or some group chat you muted weeks ago, there's a drop. Small, barely noticeable, but it's there. That spike and drop cycle is your nervous system telling you something important. You've wired her response into your reward system. Your phone isn't a tool anymore. It's an emotional slot machine, and you keep pulling the lever. Number 3, the mood hijack. This is where it gets real. She texts fast, you feel good, light, energized. She leaves you on red for 2 hours, something shifts. It's not dramatic, you're not falling apart, but there's a cloud, a low-level tension sitting behind everything else you do that afternoon. You're at work, but you're not really at work. You're waiting. And the worst part isn't the waiting itself. It's that you've handed one person who might be on her couch, half watching a show, not even thinking about you, the remote control to your emotional state. I was grabbing food with a buddy when I saw this happen in real time. Mid-conversation, he checked his phone under the table, twice, then a third time. She hadn't even texted him. He was checking to see if she had. And the thing is, he's a solid guy, smart, has things going for him. But sitting across from him in that moment, he wasn't any of those things. He was just a man waiting for permission to feel okay. And if I could see it from across a table, trust me, she can feel it through a screen. Number 4, the instant reply. Every time she texts, you respond within 60 seconds, not because you happened to see it, because you were waiting for it. And even if you weren't waiting, even if you were genuinely doing something, you drop it to respond, because somewhere in the back of your mind, there's a quiet fear running. If I don't reply fast, she'll lose interest. If I don't match her energy immediately, the window closes. But here's what you're actually communicating: total, unconditional, immediate availability. And that tells her nothing in your life right now carries more weight than this conversation. Not your work, not your goals, not the people sitting in front of you. You're broadcasting that she is the most important thing happening to you today. That's not interest, that's dependency wearing a mask, and she knows the difference, even if you don't. Number 5, the mental orbit. You're at the gym, you're with your boys, you're driving somewhere, things that should have your full presence, but mentally, you're somewhere else.
You're replaying her last message, crafting your next reply, analyzing her tone, her word choice, whether that period at the end of her last sentence meant something different. Your body is in your life, your mind is orbiting hers. And here's what you're missing. She can feel that orbit when she's not in the room, because when you do finally see her or respond, there's a weight behind it, an intensity that doesn't match the moment. You're not reacting to what she just said. You're reacting to the 3 hours of mental rehearsal that came before it. And that mismatch is exactly what she registers as too much. Not your words, your gravity. It's all pointed at her. And a man whose entire gravity is centered on someone else instead of on his own life, his own direction, his own purpose, is a man she instinctively steps back from. Not because she doesn't like you, because your center isn't you. Number 6, the over-clarification. She sends something short, one line, no emoji, maybe a little ambiguous, and instead of letting it breathe, instead of just letting it sit there, you send a follow-up, a clarification, maybe a ha-ha to lighten the energy you're only imagining, maybe a second message explaining what you meant in the first one, then maybe a third pivoting the topic entirely because the silence was eating you alive. What you're really doing isn't fixing the conversation, you're trying to kill the tension, close the gap, resolve the uncertainty. But tension isn't your enemy. Tension is where attraction lives. A man who can let a message sit, who can exist in the not knowing without reaching for control, communicates something she almost never sees. Steadiness, self-containment, the ability to be completely fine without knowing exactly where he stands. And that's rare enough that when she feels it, she doesn't just notice it, she leans into it. Now, stay with me for this last one, because everything I just listed, the checking, the flinching, the mood shifts, the instant replies, the orbiting, the over-clarifying, those are just branches. This last point is the root. And if you don't address the root, you'll fix one habit and grow 3 more in its place. Same energy, different outlet. Number 7, you've made her your emotional center. All of those habits point to one thing. You've organized your inner world around her response. Your stability isn't coming from you, it's coming from her. When she engages, you feel solid. When she pulls back, you feel shaky. And that means your identity, your confidence, your peace, your sense of where you stand in the world is conditional. It rises and falls based on someone else's behavior, someone who doesn't even know she's carrying that weight. And here's what nobody will say to you directly. She doesn't want that power. Not like that. A woman doesn't want to be the reason you feel good about yourself. She wants to walk into a life that already feels good. She wants to add to something that's already real, not be the foundation holding it together. When you make her your center, you're not offering her love. You're handing her a job she never applied for, and eventually, she'll quit. The man she can't stop thinking about? He doesn't check his phone after he texts, not because he's running a strategy, because he sent the message and moved on, back to his work, back to his training, back to whatever he was building before she entered the frame. His phone is a tool. His mood is anchored in something she can't give him and can't take away. And that stability, that deep, quiet, unmovable center is what she actually falls for. That's not coldness. That's not playing games. That's a man who stopped performing for approval and started living from his own foundation. You're not here to impress her. You're here to build something real and let the right person walk into it. So here's what I want you to do. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. The next time you send her a message, put the phone away. Actually away. Go do something that's yours, something with weight, and notice what happens inside you. Notice the pull, the urge to check, the little voice telling you to just look, just once. Don't act on it. Let it pass. That discomfort is the dependency talking, and every single time you let it pass without reaching for the phone, you get a little more of your center back. Now, here's what I didn't cover today. There are things she does specifically to test whether that center holds. Small, quiet things, a delayed response, a vague text, a sudden shift in tone. They're not random, they're not moods, they're tests. And the way most men respond to them, the way they scramble, over-explain, chase the reassurance, confirms exactly what she suspected. I'll break those down next, and once you see the pattern, everything she does starts making sense. Which one of these 7 hit closest to home? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Stay sharp. I'll catch you in the next one.